as I said to my students yesterday, one does not conduct business as usual when such an exceptional moment occurs. And so I would like to say a few words about Nelson Mandela, since we are gathered here this evening. He was an extraordinary fighter for freedom for many reasons, but perhaps most of all for his humility and for his unrelenting insistence on community and on collective agency. When he was asked how he wanted to be remembered, he always said that he wanted to be remembered as one of many other men and women who contributed to our ongoing struggles for freedom. Nelson Mandela's life has exemplified what it means to define one's presence on the planet as enabling the expansion of freedom. He and his African National Congress comrades identified early on with nonviolent modes of resistance. But when it became apparent that nonviolence only works within a context in which the oppressors are receptive to such appeals, they founded the armed wing of the organization Umkhonto we Sizwe, Spear of the Nation. It was clear to them that the apartheid government could not be budged in any other way. Now, dominant representations of Mandela see his 27 years in prison, where he was prisoner number 46664, as transforming him somehow into a proponent of nonviolence, softening him, so to speak, following Gandhi and Martin Luther King, whose media representations have been tailored so as comfortably to fit into a frame defined by liberalism. In 1985, 5 years before he was ultimately released, the apartheid regime offered Mandela his freedom if only he would renounce violence. In declining this offer, Mandela said in a statement his daughter issued that the apartheid government was the party that needed to renounce violence. Besides, he says, one can only negotiate if one is free. Prisoners cannot enter into contracts. Mandela is often portrayed as one who was willing to forgive and forget. Forgive and forget. His relationship with de Klerk, his friendship with one of the guards from Robben Island, who was invited to attend his wedding to Graça Machel, his relationship to the then all-white Springbok rugby union team, which, as you know, won the World Cup in 1995. In all of these relationships, he compelled transformation. Yes, he did offer his hand to them, but he also called for something in return. They could not remain the same proponents or beneficiaries of apartheid. They would have to begin the process of purging themselves and their society of racism, exploitation, and violence. This was the meaning of the peace and reconciliation process, not simple forgiveness, not forgetfulness, but transformation, revolutionary transformation of self and transformation of social relations. I will remember Nelson Mandela, Madiba as we learn to call him, because he was a true revolutionary. He and his comrades demanded the overthrow of the apartheid state. And while post-apartheid South Africa continues to be plagued with a host of problems, that does not negate their extraordinary achievements. With solidarity from all over the world, even when the US government treated Mandela as a pariah and as a terrorist, they were victorious. And Mandela continues to represent a promise of revolution and transformation today. He has been a major inspiration for me as long as I can remember. His comrade, Albie Sachs, who was, of course, the jurist who sat on the Constitutional Court and helped to draft the new South African Constitution, which parenthetically is anti-racist, anti-sexist, and innovatively anti-homophobic. Albie Sachs remarked that in many other parts of the world, people expect South Africans to be sad about the passing of their leader. But he said, in South Africa, people are joyous. They are singing and they are dancing and they are celebrating his legacy because they know that his legacy, which courses through the bodies and the hearts of so many millions of people all over the planet, is far more powerful than his individual body. And so they are happy that they can offer his legacy to all of Africa and indeed to the world. I must admit that initially I was somewhat sad for myself, and that sadness emanated from not being among my usual communities. But in the days that I've been here in Frankfurt, I feel as if I've made new connections with new communities here at the university and beyond. We need memorials without closures. And so it is an honor to help memorialize Nelson Mandela among you. Thank you.